Okay. What is going on, LBHT crew? I know we're late. Whatever. All right.
We're not late. This is not a scheduled show. Okay.
It's scheduled
We
for
we
7. It's
we
seven
show up
fifteen.
when we show up.
It's scheduled for 7:15 p.m. Eastern time every Wednesday.
Whatever.
Okay. It's
That's
ingrained in
been
people's head.
a coincidence.
What's going on, B?
Not much. I said we were late. You can thank Elon Musk for that.
Yes. So okay, look, it's Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. Hope your week is going well. But if not, hopefully it gets better starting right now. We are streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, but no Twitter. No Twitter. Apparently, Elon Musk is charging us to go live now. You have to be on the premium account. And I'm here to tell you, Elon Musk will never get our money. So we will no longer be streaming on Twitter. Okay. That's probably why we were getting so many views on Twitter recently. That was them trying to push traffic our way to entice us. Like, oh, you like the traffic that you get in there. We don't like it that much. Look, there's all kinds of streaming services out there. You know, we'll end up somewhere else. Eventually, it'll be on our own website. You'll be able to watch it, maybe some live shows, at least some replays on our website, LBHTShow.com, by the way. Go check that out and sign up for our soon to come newsletter. All right. So who we got in the chat here? We got our guy, Coach Evans, who will be on the show later. Says first. He is first from Sit to Tally Films. Thanks for coming through. Our guy, Hendo from the Rogue Pod says, yo, what's going on, Hendo? We got Pay the Bills in the house. Salute to Pay the Bills. Says goofy old Skip is gone, eh? About time. Yes, we're going to be discussing some Skip Bayless. You saw it in the title. Skip Bayless is out at FS1. Also, we're going to be discussing some Ravens and Panthers training camp. Training camp is upon us. Okay, you guys have been deprived of some Ravens and Panthers talk for long enough. We're going to do a little bit today. We're not going to give you all of it because training camp the veterans didn't report yet. Okay, so we're just going to kind of talk about what we expect to see, from the team this upcoming season, and then next week we can really ramp it up. All right, but football's almost back, B. It's almost back. All right, yeah, mutually parted ways. That's a respectful way of saying we don't need your services anymore, Skip. Okay. Who else we got in here? Just Allo. Salute to Just Allo. What's going on? Says hello, LBHT crew. I hope everyone is doing well. Thanks for coming through. Ravens Talk with Yolanda. What's going on? Says good evening, family. LBHT family. Thanks for coming through.
Yolanda.
Appreciate you. Our guy Ferris is in the house. Says woo, like Ric Flair. Salute to Ferris. Got Jeremy Miller in the house. Says hey everyone. Hey Jeremy. We got our guy the Chef 87. Says good evening, fellas. I need another roundup meetup. Hey, yes, the Chef was at our meet and greet last year. We're not doing a roundup meet and greet this year, but we're planning for 2025. All right. Last year was a success. The Chef was there. You know, it was great meeting him in person. All right. Mm-hmm. It was great meeting, but Just Allo, Danity, Yolanda, a bunch of people showed up. It was a lot of fun. And we're going to start planning the one for 2025, and we'll start selling tickets a lot earlier. Okay. We kind of sold them a little at the last minute. It was a little chaotic, but you guys bought them. You showed up. And it was a ton of fun. The next one is going to be even better. All right. So appreciate you guys. 86 Ghost. Bazel. What's good? Thanks for coming through. We got our guy Dre. Mr. Galloway says good evening, everyone. Good
What's
evening.
up, Dre?
Killer Cam in the house says Ola Jose. There it is. And also, mucho gusto, Brodny.
What's up,
Clot, what's going on? Salute to Clot. Thanks for coming through. Yes, he's in the building. Thank you, Chef. He says he'll be there. He has, we have his support. Always appreciate that. Thank you so much. All right. Okay. So, we were this close to not doing a show tonight. This close. But, you know, B already knows. I don't like not giving you a show unless we have a backup video ready to go. Didn't have a backup video ready to go, so we said let's do the show. So that's why
That's
we
why I
started
look
late.
so sad.
I had to pry him away from the NCAA 25.
And I was telling him, just before we even get started, I gave Jose this tip a few minutes ago, and I'm going to give it to the rest of you as well. If you play Road to Glory and you decide to start out as an underdog, a 2-star player, your best offer is going to be from Kennesaw State, and you may be tempted to take it to get on the field. Do not go to Kennesaw State. It is a trap. Okay? They will ruin you.
I have not been able to play the game yet, but from what B has told me about the game and the reaction that I'm seeing on Twitter, it is everything that people have hoped and dreamed for.
Yeah.
Is this accurate?
It is accurate, especially since all I do is win. I'm San Diego State. I came through with the #1 recruiting class in the Mountain West, the number 34 in the country, and we are back.
Look, coach is co-signing this. Says don't do it.
Yeah, don't do it.
Ferris same thing. Says don't do it at all.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
Hey, Tracy, what's going on?
What's up, Tracy?
Thanks for coming through. Always happy to see you. Thanks for coming through. Appreciate that. Yeah. Okay. Coach says he loves it. He said he loves it. So, I had the game as well. When B told me he was gonna start playing it, I was like, I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna play it a little bit later. Got home from work, right? Let Jacob finish playing his Minecraft and whatnot. I said I'm gonna get settled down. I'm gonna work out, shower, and everything, and then I'm gonna play. And then I went to sleep.
And then old.
Yeah,
What's up, Osmond?
What's up? It says, hey, Jose and Brodny. Hey, everyone in the chat. Hey, salute to you.
I can't say Ferris. Why are you asking? If you're supposed to be on every week, bro. Like, why? Why are you asking if you can come on?
Okay, no, you can't come on to rant about Kennesaw State because we are trying to make this a shorter show. That's what we're trying to tell you. We're going to try to speed through these things. We have a lot to talk about. We want to shorten it a little bit. All right, we're going to do the overtime show. Okay, we can talk a little bit more about it on the overtime show. But no, you can't come on and rant about Kennesaw State. You can come on and do your job so we can talk some WNBA. Okay, you're supposed to be our WNBA expert. All right, so get to work. Jeremy's asking which team you're gonna play as. He's referring to our Patreon for Patreon members. We are starting an online dynasty league for NCAA 25. So you want to join that? Patreon.com/LBHTShow is how you do that. All right.
Gotta get that started tonight.
Okay. So because this show was rushed together, I gotta ask B, do we have a Black History fact tonight?
We do, in fact, have a Black History fact.
All right. Okay, look, we already got 25 people in here. Hit that like button. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. The subscribe button, it still works, ladies and gentlemen, in case you're wondering. Okay, we are very close to 2,000 subscribers. Go ahead and look, I know most of you guys take a break on the summertime. So, you're on vacation and all that. You're not worried about it. But just hit the subscribe button. Baseball life was going on. Thanks for coming through. All right, we're very close to 2,000. And we are trying to speed run through 2,000 and hit 3,000 real quick. So we need to do that. Okay. So, all right. Ferris is here to not rant about Kennesaw State. All right. We're gonna bring him up after we bring up the Black History fact because we like to do this every week. And B and Okole have a Black History fact for you.
Welcome to this week's Black History Fact. Bill Russell, born on February 12, 1934, in Monroe, Louisiana, is a legendary figure in professional basketball. He played center for the Boston Celtics in the NBA from 1956 to 1969. His exceptional defensive skills and rebounding prowess were key to the Celtics' dominance in the 1960s. Over his career, Russell played in 963 regular season games, averaging 22.5 rebounds, 15.1 points, and 4.3 assists. He was chosen for 12 All-Star games, won 5 MVP awards, and helped the Celtics secure 11 NBA championships. In 1966, Russell broke new ground by becoming the first black head coach in the NBA, and the first in any professional sport in North America. This came about when Red Auerbach, the Celtics coach at the time, retired. Remarkably, Russell served as both a player and a coach for the Celtics in his last 3 seasons, winning 2 of his 11 NBA championships in this dual role. After retiring as a player, Russell continued to coach, leading the Seattle Supersonics from 1973 to 77 and the Sacramento Kings from 1987 to 88. Beyond his remarkable basketball career, Russell was also a vocal advocate for civil rights. Having grown up in the South and experienced racial discrimination in Boston, Russell was deeply aware of racial inequality in America. He was active in the civil rights and the Black Power movements of the 1960s. Long before Colin Kaepernick's national anthem demonstrations to raise awareness about police brutality, or the collective sports world advocating for justice following the 2020 death of George Floyd and others, Russell used his platform to hasten civil rights. In conclusion, Bill Russell's legacy in basketball is defined not only by his extraordinary playing abilities and innovative defensive strategies, but also by his pioneering role as the NBA's first black head coach and his unwavering commitment to activism. His contributions to the sport and society have left a lasting impact that resonates today.
And we're back.
All
And
right.
Coach is here. Incredible. Incredible what happens when people are on their production game. It's so smooth. You don't even know. You don't even realize what's going on.
We gotta talk about that because there's a delay from your end to my end with that transition. So you jump back just like a split second before I jump back. That's why I'm kind of sitting there looking like a deer.
Sounds like a you problem.
No.
That sounds like a you problem.
Coach, what's going on?
Not much. I like that seamless transition, B. You own it, boy.
Thank you.
Own
Appreciate
it.
All right, Ferris is here, but we're gonna bring Ferris in afterwards because the production guy over there didn't set this scene up for 4 people. We not forget about Ferris.
He's not part of this scene.
Well, okay, we're just letting people know Ferris is up next, and I'm letting Ferris know we ain't forget about him back there.
I see you, Ferris. I see you.
All right,
Goodness.
Coach. So, I gotta be honest. I didn't watch every video this week for your power rankings, but
YouTube ain't went nowhere.
I know. I did catch. You're up to you did 7 today, right?
Yep. Today was number 7.
So I saw 8 and 9 because we're in the top 10 now.
Mm-hmm. We are
top 10. So before we go over your updated list where we're at on your power rankings, can you explain to everybody how you do your power rankings?
Okay. Each position group has a ranking 1 through 32, and that's quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end, O-line, D-line, and edges together, linebacker, cornerback, and safety. I assign each group ranking 1 through 32. I average them out. You add them up together, divided by 9, and then that average is the rankings. You want to get closer to 1 as possible. Last year, the Ravens ended up being the closest to number 1, and they were number 1, and it ended up being fairly accurate because in the regular season, the Ravens were the best team. And like I said last week, the team that I really kind of goofballed on were the Detroit Lions. And as me and Brodny always say, I didn't account for rookies at all last year other than Bijan Robinson. And the Lions had a bunch of rookies to step up and be extremely productive. I didn't do that this year. I kind of took a gamble on some rookies and factored them in and actually made them a part of the team. So I did more research. Last week, it took me about 2 weeks to do this list. This year, it took me right at 6. So I did a little bit more. I went a little bit more in depth. And I think you have a better list, a more thorough list than you did last year. But last year was the first time. So as you do anything, the more you do it, the better you get at it.
So I want to give a shout out to my friend Shang at work because he watches this video. Big supporter of this channel. He watches our videos, and Coach, he's seen you on there, and watching this segment led him to your channel. He's a big Eagles fan, so he was looking for that ranking. I think you had him ranked 16 or 15.
15, yes.
15. And this is why I love your power rankings, because obviously he wasn't happy with the 15 ranking, but he watched your video all the way through and he was just like, yeah, that's a good breakdown.
That's all I can ask for.
he was like, I don't like the ranking, but like, man, he's like, he really knows his football. Like he knows these guys. And he was just like, every fan base thinks nobody knows their team better than they do.
Mm-hmm.
And he was just like, no, like, he's like, I was sitting here thinking, oh, he doesn't know about this guy. But then you talk about the guy and he's like, oh, he does know that guy, right? Like you really do your research into this. So it doesn't matter what team you're a fan of. Like Coach has, he's put in the work and he's broken down your team and he knows your team. And that
I probably don't know the
fair.
backups like that, but the starters I got a general idea of.
Yeah. So all right. So where did we leave off last
Number
week?
11, the Jets.
That's right. So now we're at 10.
No, well, actually, 11 was, we ended up at 12, so we're on 11. 11 was now. Last Thursday.
Okay.
So 11 was the Jets, and this is where some people going kind of look at me crazy. The Jets had 2 number ones. They had their linebacker group number 1, and in their linebacker room they had, and I got the list in front of me. CJ Mosley, Quincy Williams.
Yeah.
And I had that group as 1. And keep in mind, this past production versus what I think they're gonna do this year. It's not just past stats, so it's not just what I see on the field. It's all that together. And I just think about who's in front of them too. Like they don't get touched with Quinnen and Kinlaw in front of them.
And I don't think people, because they haven't been a good team, I don't think people realize how good CJ Mosley has been.
Right.
Like
he never should have left.
No.
He never should have been allowed to leave. Never.
No. It's crazy. You used a first, a second, and then $100 million to replace him.
Hey, it is what it is. But we
ain't and a couple thirds.
I've changed the subject. We're here for the power rankings. We're not here to bash Eric DeCosta today.
Not
yet. But okay, so it was a linebacker group was 1, and who else was 1?
Cornerback.
Okay.
Yeah. They Sauce Gardner and DJ Reed, and then Michael Carter as their nickelback there, and they're 2 number ones, but it's really a testament to Quinnen, because Quinnen is so disruptive.
Yeah.
And he don't have a lot of stats stuff. I mean, Quinnen got stats, but because you have to get rid of the ball because he's so disruptive, it makes them guys on the back end that much better because they know they ain't got to cover long. They squat on everything. All the short intermediate routes, they try to take them away, and which they end up looking a lot. Well, I ain't gonna say they look a lot better than they are because they're really good, but it takes a lot of guesswork out of it for them because they know I ain't got to cover long, so I can squat on short stuff.
Gotcha. Well, so where do you have the D line? Right.
D line I have 11.
Okay.
I have 11. I don't really know what we're gonna get out of Kinlaw, and then Jermaine Johnson ain't showed up just yet. But I like Quinnen Williams. I like Hassan Reddick. They picked up from the Eagles.
I need Johnson to show up because I have him in our Dynasty Fantasy League. One of my IDP players. I got him on the taxi squad right now, but it's time for him to move up.
Show up and show out.
That's right. All right, who we got next?
All right, number 10 was the LA Rams.
Yes.
They don't have a top squad, but the top squad for them, for me, is their wide receiver crew, and we kind of know who the main guys are, though. Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua, I got them ranked number 5, the 5th best wide receiver group, and I also have them as the 6th best quarterback room because of what Matthew Stafford did and the fact that they got this porn star loving dude as a backup. So I think they got a decent quarterback room. And I got them at 6. So but they don't have a top 3 room, but they're pretty solid all the way through. And I like their young D line group too.
Okay. All right.
For those of you that don't know, Coach was referring to Jimmy Garoppolo.
I thought that was a known. I guess that was a known unknown.
And he's proud of that. So we're not even making fun of him. He
He was very interested in that story that Matthew's wife was telling.
Which is wild.
All right, number 9.
Number 9, the Cleveland Browns.
Ooh,
Cleveland Browns coming at number 9. They have a number 1 also. I'm sure you can guess which position they have number 1 at.
That's got to be D-line.
It is D-line. It is mainly because of Myles Garrett and Zadarius Smith and the combination of 4 guys they have at interior D-line. But it's mainly Myles Garrett and Zadarius Smith. Them guys get after it. Myles commands so much attention that those other guys eat off of Myles, and nobody in the NFL, and I said this in the countdown that I just finished too, the top 50 countdown, nobody in the NFL can block Myles Garrett consistently. Like nobody. There, you can't throw a lineman, you can't throw an offensive lineman out there that can block Myles Garrett consistently.
No. You know how demoralizing that is, knowing he's going to hit your quarterback, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Nothing.
Challenge accepted, Andrew Voorhees. And you can't tell me he can't because you've never seen him get beat in a block, have you, Coach?
I haven't seen him win one either.
Facts.
Seen him win one or lose one. He's 0 for 0.
All right, number 8.
Number 8, Mike Pitts, Brodny. No. Have you seen number 8, Brodny?
I'm not.
I did see number 8.
You want to tell him who number 8 is?
Cover your ears, B. Atlanta Falcons.
Number 8 is the Falcons.
I saw that. I was like, ooh, boy. He's not going to like that.
Disgusting.
They have, I got them at 2 top 5 rooms. Their first top 5 room I have is running back because of Bijan, Tyler Algiers, and I like their third guy that they drafted out of Alabama, Jace, I think it's McKellen. I think that's how you say it. I liked him last year because he won me some money, but I liked him anyway. He was the backup at Alabama. He wasn't even the starter, and he was solid. But Alabama keep running backs.
Yeah.
And so those 3 guys, if they keep that same philosophy of running outside zone a lot, they got 3 guys that can do that at a high rate. And Bijan, like this year for Bijan, we may see some Christian McCaffrey type stuff. Because he had I almost said something that wasn't supposed to be said no more. He had a crazy offensive coordinator. His offensive coordinator was borderline stupid. Which was the head coach, too.
Yeah.
So now with a competent scheme, Bijan, Kyle Pitts, and Drake London, that big 3 should be decent if they can get good quarterback play out of Kirk, and then eventually Mike Penix.
Okay. They ain't getting nothing out of Kirk.
Their second big room was the offensive line. They got 3 first-round picks on our offensive line and a second-round pick. So 4 of their 5 offensive linemen were first or second-round picks, which is why their offensive line has gotten better. They've been bad for so long. They've been using first-round picks, and now they all got good at the same time. So the offensive line is really good. And they've upgraded, I think, at the wide receiver position.
Okay. All right, B.
I mean, needless to say, I disagree with every word you just said. I mean, it's unbelievable. But I will say that I don't think they're going to get much out of Kirk coming off his Achilles tear at that age, and with the disrespect that they showed him in the offseason by drafting a quarterback in the top 10. I think he's going to mentally check out.
I thought so too, B, until I found out about the suspension that they thought they was going to get, the fine they thought they was going to get. So I understand with them thinking that they were going to get that fine or that penalty why they drafted Mike, because they was like they not going to be nowhere close to getting a quarterback no time soon. And I didn't even know about that fine or that penalty coming down the pipe. So I understand why they did it, and I really think it was a smart move, because if Kirk don't give you nothing, by the time it's time to pay Mike Penix, that money gone anyway. That money off the books. Yeah. And if Kirk don't give you nothing this year, I mean, you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah. I think Kirk will be okay, because I mean, his stats come off of check downs and just throwing it to the short thing, and he doesn't need 2 good legs for that, right? Like I think he can keep it going with the talent that's around him. He always finds himself in the right situations where he doesn't have to do too much. He can just give it to the talent, and the talent will take it from there.
Yeah, but he don't have a Justin Jefferson on this team though. He got to
No,
be Sean.
and a Drake, and if you get something out of Kyle Pitts,
Kyle.
Yeah,
and he's got the protection.
he got a good. He do have a better O line.
Yeah,
he do have a lot better O line than he had in Minnesota.
Because he got hit a lot in Minnesota, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
He had the most QB hits.
And the thing is, Minnesota and Atlanta run the same type of offense. They run a lot of outside zone, a lot of bootleg, and a lot of play action off outside zone. So he basically going to a similar offense because the Rams they're gonna run that Rams type stuff, and Minnesota and the Rams run a similar offense.
Okay, all right. Now today's video number 7,
the Houston Texans, and Houston Texans' best room I had is their wide receiver room. I had them at number 2.
Jeez, yeah.
And the reason being is not because of one particular person, it's the depth in that room. Stephon Diggs, Nico Collins, Tank Dell, Noah Brown, John Mechie, Robert Woods. That's a lot of depth in that room. None of these dudes are like the top maybe 10 receivers, but when you put all of them together and then just their numbers and what they can do with CJ Stroud, that's a really good wide receiver room.
Yeah, like you said,
they were good without Diggs.
Maybe not top 10, but then they've got 11, 12, and 13.
Right.
On their team.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then Tank Dell had an amazing rookie season before he got hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So you did 7. We still haven't heard the Ravens' name called yet.
We have not. We
Now,
got what?
We got
6 tomorrow, 5 Friday, and then we'll do 4, 3. Then like last year, I'll do 2 and 1 on Wednesday before I come home.
I'm already seeing this as a win because I wouldn't have had them ranked this high, right? 'Cause I haven't been impressed with the offseason. There's too many question marks, you know, for me on the offense. But knowing how you do the rankings, I feel good that our name hasn't been called yet. So we're close to that top 5. We're in the top 10, and look, once you get to that top 8, you have a shot.
Yeah, you do.
So I feel a little bit better about it. But before you go, because we're going, training camp has started for the rookies. Veterans are going to be reporting soon. Just give us some quick thoughts on like how you feeling about the team going to camp, what you expect or would like to see coming out of training camp.
Coming out of camp, I'm excited to see a couple of battles. Those 3 offensive line positions, I'm excited to see who's gonna win those. Excited to see if we get anything out of Injurbo. The battle between the 2 rookie cornerbacks. Well, one's hurt right now. I don't know how he got hurt. TJ Tampa.
He's hurt?
Yeah, he's on PUP.
Oh.
Him and Wiggins versus Pepe and Jalen Loma Davis, and just those little, and to see who's going to be the actual number 2 receiver. Like I said, it should be Bateman, but
should it though?
I mean, on paper it should be. On paper,
I guess by default.
Yeah, by default it should be, but
yeah,
we don't know.
Yeah,
we'll see. I'm a firm believer of that chemistry thing means a lot. A lot of people don't share that same sentiment with me, and I think like when Joker say, "Hey, you need to come to some South Florida so we can throw and get better," and you just refuse to do it.
Well, what's the story with that? Like, why won't he?
I think do it? Petty Betty is real in this world, people. I'm telling you, pettiness is real in this world. I won't believe me, but I'm telling you,
yeah,
it's real in this world.
Yeah, I believe. Yeah, I believe you. I believe you. All right, Coach. Well, look, let the people know where they can find both of your channels, because this is on your second channel, the Power Rankings. On your main channel, you have a top 50 players ranking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right? we just finished that today. We wrapped up my 8 through 1 today. Finished it up. Number 1 was Patrick, my homeboy.
All right.
Our favorite son was number 5. Matter of fact, I'll give you the top 5 real quick. Give me 1 second.
I'll take 5.
Hold on, I got it right here. Number 5 was Lamar Jackson. Number 4 was Tyreek Hill. Okay. Number 3 was Justin Jefferson. Number 2 was CMC. And number 1 was Pat Mahomes. And that's on my main channel at regular Sip to Tally.
Okay. And your other channel, more Sip to Tally.
Mm-hmm.
Close to 1,000 subscribers. All right. Main channel, Sip to Tally, close to 10,000 subscribers. And we need both of these milestones to hit before the regular season, ladies and gentlemen.
Definitely.
So go over there. Oh, you know what? I gotta put the link in the description. I'm gonna put the link in the description, but it's right behind him. Okay, Sip to Tally.
Yeah.
All right. Go over there and hit the subscribe button. There it is. Yes. Everybody's on vacation, but your thumbs aren't on vacation.
Right.
Hit subscribe. All right. Coach, I appreciate you as always. Is it next week? We're back
29th. I think. Ain't that right, B?
29th? Yeah, a week from Monday.
The last, not this Monday, but the Monday after that.
Okay.
We gotta let Chris finish with his applause.
Yeah.
He's still applauding.
His round of applause.
Yeah.
All right, but the Ravens Roundup will be back soon. Coach, as always, we appreciate you, and we'll see you next week.
Cool. I'm ready to hear about this Skip Bayless stuff. That was funny to me.
Yes,
that was funny. That was really funny.
Yes, we're gonna talk about it for sure. All right, Coach.
Thank you.
No problem.
All right, so
we're ready to transition over here to Ferris. If Ferris is paying attention.
Well, hold on.
He is. Okay.
Not yet.
I just wanted to get his attention.
You got to get off the road.
I tried to message him, and he wasn't. He didn't answer it. So I didn't know if he knew.
He's playing.
Probably was getting sacked.
Yeah. Yes. I can see the look on his face.
I saw him get up and scream one time. It wasn't a happy scream.
He's playing.
That was a what?
All right.
Just so y'all know, everybody know. Once we get this thing set up, we will be streaming some of these games when we play against each other. Now, probably won't stream when we play against a computer, but when we get to where we have to play against each other in this college football thing, we'll be streaming. I got a Twitch channel with my same name, and I think other people have it also. So just be on the lookout for that. When we play each other, we'll be streaming some of these games, so you can laugh at us and tell us how sorry we are, or tell us how good we are, or whatnot.
So okay, but I just told B yesterday that I'm picking a team in a conference that nobody's going to be in because the shady things I'm going to do in that conference. I don't want anybody paying attention. Okay, you guys go play each other. I'm gonna. you ever watch those shows where there's the protagonist goes through the small town and it turns out like it's run by one person. He's running everything. Like nobody knows about it. Like that's gonna be me. That's gonna be me with Hawaii in the WAC. Okay, so nobody pick a team in the WAC. I'm gonna be doing what I do over there. All right, I'm gonna be running everything. I'm gonna have about 4 D2 schools on my schedule.
FCS East, FCS West, FCS Northeast.
All right, Coach. We'll see you next time, man.
All right,
Coach.
All right, but okay. Before we bring up Ferris, B, let's talk let's talk some Panthers training camp. Let's talk some Ravens training camp.
Okay. Well, I mean, I just feel like you have to let me know that prior to setting the things up.
Okay. We can circle back to it then. We'll circle back to it. Let's bring Ferris on.
Y'all want me to leave or what? I ain't want to just have a blank screen up there.
I'm bad, Coach. We're gonna switch it up right now. We're gonna hop over to some basketball real quick, and then we're gonna come back to the NFL for some Panthers and Ravens talk. But we will see you maybe in the overtime show. If not, we'll see you in the Discord. We're gonna get that online dynasty up and running here in the next day or so.
Gotcha.
All right, you have a good one, Coach.
You too. Peace.
Ferris. I don't understand. What's going on?
Good evening, gentlemen. How are you?
How you doing, Ferris?
Good evening, Ferris.
I am doing good. You know what's so good? You guys get this.
Hey.
I'ma need a day off. I think I called Ferris up.
How's everybody? So let me tell you something about Kennesaw State.
Oh,
I'm kidding. I'm
not kidding, man. That is a trap. Do not go to Kennesaw State.
Okay.
I was in the end zone. Okay, sorry.
So, actually, I missed this bit of news. There's too much going on at work this week. I missed this. The Sky traded Mabrey to the Sun.
Yes.
Sure.
What did they get?
They got a 2025 first round pick, the right to swap picks in 2026, and then they got Mariah Jefferson and Rachel
Bon. Tried to Bon Jefferson.
How do you feel about this trade?
I feel like they're quitting, and it's fine. Quitting a little bit, and it's fine.
Or they're reducing their guard depth because, you know, the guards have been underwhelming, and it's becoming Kennedy Carter's team in the guard play because she put those Vegas guards in hell last night when they faced the Sky. The Sky, by the way, you know, they beat the Liberty and the Vegas Aces, which are the top two teams in each conference, I believe, right now. So, but they beat the Liberty like it was like the third game of the year, and the Liberty beaten them down the last couple, so they still got under that belt. But they're still, the Aces are the Aces. They're not the number one team in the West, record wise.
They're still that team, yeah.
But they're still that team. They're still that team. But the Liberty are definitely the best team in the East. They've definitely beaten Connecticut more than once. They've showed Connecticut that you guys can't hang with us. Sorry, Reg. But that's a fact. I believe Alyssa Thomas is playing with an injury. I think she hurt her labrum. That's why she shoots weird because she has to change her form to mitigate the labrum injury she suffered. But I think Brodny's right. They're trimming the fat of the roster. Bon Jefferson and Rachel Banham are probably not going to be on the team next year. Rachel provides better shooting. She did break the 3-point record for coming off the bench, which was 8 a couple of games ago. That record. Not as a starter, she's definitely a backup for Connecticut. But man, they've reduced. They've kind of moved on to Kennedy Carter. She has, handles, speed. She has that. I believe she's more like Russell Westbrook. She had the handle. She had the speed.
On the Aces yesterday or the day before. Mabrey is one of their better guards. Obviously, one of their better shooters. But she's been running hot and cold a lot this season, and I think that they were moving towards. Kind of clearing out that guard room, except for, like Farrah said, except for Kennedy. I think they're going to be looking to transition a lot of those players. And this also gives Mabrey a shot at playing for a championship this year with the Sun, who have been really, really good this season. They stumbled a bit over the last couple of weeks, but a very, very talented team. So, she gets a shot to kind of fit in there going into the playoffs and then make a run at a championship. And the Sky get some more draft capital, and they get to kind of, some more flexibility in the backcourt.
Also, too, another thing about the Sky's guards, it's the second coach that shelved Dana Evans to the bench. First, it was James Wade, who won a championship in Chicago. He kind of didn't really care for her. He didn't really give her minutes. And when he left, everyone was like, "Oh, Dana Evans is finally going to be unlocked with Teaspoon," because Teaspoon, first ever defensive player of the year in the WNBA, a great guard, former player development coach with the New Orleans Pelicans. So she's all about player development, and she shoved Dana Evans to the bench. So we gotta have a conversation. Is the one coach is one thing. Two coaches, could it be a coincidence, or is it the start of a pattern where two coaches said, you give me nothing, and I don't really need you, because they chose Kennedy over her. Could they start both of them together? Possibly. But we can't really use that backcourt small, because every backcourt's pretty much small in the WNBA. So that's not a small guard in the WNBA mean nothing. You know what I mean? It just doesn't happen. So
people in the chat are saying tank for Paige Beckers. I don't know if they're in the running.
No, there are teams worse than them.
There are teams worse than them, but I mean they could in theory get there. But it's, if you're going to tank for Paige, it's a little late to start now. They're I believe it's 5 games ahead of the worst team in the league,
Dallas.
So that'll be tough to make up over just the last half of the season.
Dallas needs a point guard. So
so is Chicago though. So
yeah, I know, but Dallas, Paige. But the thing with Paige is, it was weird with her. She's not really a point guard. You know what I mean? She's a combo guard who initiates the offense, but I wouldn't call her an out and out one, a point guard. I wouldn't call that. She's combo more. I think she fits better with the two crowd, but the problem is she has one of the best two guards in the nation with AZ Fudd. A lot of people forgot about that because she hurt her knee last year. No one really talked about her, but she's a shooter. She's a great shooting guard. So they made Paige play the point. I mean, so really, you're not getting a point guard with Paige. She can play it, but I believe she's better off the ball, running off screens, dribble handoffs, running the baseline, using off-ball movement with her, and she definitely defense. You definitely get defense because you got to play defense at UConn. You don't see the court. You know what I mean? So, they don't care. No, she doesn't, Jeremy. You watch your mouth.
Listen, Ferris. I'm about sick of your Page to the Bay agenda. She can play the point just fine, and she needs to play the point. She needs to be feeding the post with Reese and Cardoso in Chicago with My Sky, and just stop
Our Sky.
With My Sky. But they're not going to get there anyway. Like Reg says in the chat, they could be trying to build up capital for a trade, but they're not going to be able to get to the.
No one's trading that pick. They've been waiting.
No, trading for like a point guard.
He didn't say for Paige necessarily.
Yeah. They need a point guard. They don't. It doesn't have to be Paige. But they need a competent point guard.
Yeah, Olivia Miles out of Notre Dame is a solid one, but she's become kind of
or even a veteran. Like
veteran.
It doesn't necessarily have to be a rookie. They need like a good veteran or just some good point guard play. Somebody that can distribute the ball.
Yeah. Because the second best player in this draft is Kiki Efren, and she's a power forward. They don't need another power forward. You know what I mean? So definitely not a trade up in a sense. So yeah.
That's right, Hendo. Our Sky.
And listen, Ferris, you could say nobody's trading that pick, but people do stupid things every day. Right?
They've been waiting. Brodny, they've been
Trae Young over Luka.
So Mikey has a question here. The expansion team doesn't automatically get the number one pick?
I heard they don't, which is, part of my French, not cool. See, you thought I was gonna say something else, weren't you? I got you, huh? I got
Good
you.
job. Good job.
Yeah, you're welcome. That's not cool, man. Like, because it's only 12 teams. Well, it's gonna be 13 with them. You're not gonna give them what's up with that? You know what I mean?
They get an expansion draft, Ferris. Why should they get the number one pick on top of it?
Because why not, man? Yeah,
just because you want Paige Beckers and Jeremy. No, man, we know Haley Van Lith exists.
I know.
Just stay her ass wherever she's at. All right,
TCU. She's at TCU right now.
I know that, Ferris. Like
Haley Van Lith is hoping you forget that she exists.
Yeah. She hopes you don't remember her last game. She wants you to forget that. But no, man, you have teams with 5 first-round picks starting. Why can't we get an expansion draft and the number one pick? Look at the Aces. They have 4 first-round picks.
Because you get veterans to fill out your roster. You don't.
Yeah, veterans. We don't. They're not going to protect the good players.
Right. It's the people that nobody wants.
I heard that there's so much talent in the WNBA that even good players can't get on rosters.
That's
so
true.
They're going to get good players, right?
That is true.
So they're going to get good players,
but they're not going to get good enough players.
Yeah, man.
Good enough for what? Who says you have to compete from day one?
The fans.
Who says
that pay money to go see
that's your
play?
right? Who says that's your right?
Paige looks great in purple, Brodny. She doesn't look good in sky blue.
You're making stuff up now.
No, I don't. She wore a purple suit to the ESPYs. All right, there's actually other big WNBA news. Big.
What's that?
Why should you be rewarded for being the last team in?
Because we're not the last team. We're the new team. We're behind the 8 ball.
You are the last team in.
It's called an incentive to somebody invest into the league.
Exactly. They want to invest in this market. So
you know what? There's a player coming into the league from right near there.
Kiki.
You just mentioned her, right?
It's Kiki, yeah.
Yeah. Send her home. Or keep her home, I should say.
Yeah.
What's the other big news?
The WNBA's new media deal.
Yes.
They got a new media deal. It's been agreed upon. The Athletic first reported it. It's $2.2 billion over 11 years.
Wow.
Yeah, but in a comparison of their media deal right now is 5 years, $60 million.
Wow.
Yes.
It's quite
Two-
quite an increase.
Quite an increase.
2.2 billion.
Yeah,
Yes.
so about 200 million a year is what they're looking at roughly.
Also, too, the Players Association has an opt-out after the 2025 season. So there's going to be a big negotiation coming up this coming years, But here's a quote I found, right? This is from Kareem Copeland. He pointed out from The Athletic. Kareem is a basketball reporter from the Washington Post. He says this. This is from WNBA Players Association Executive Director Terry Jackson. She said, they say this, we have wondered for months how the NBA would value the WNBA in its media rights deal. With a reported $75 billion deal on the table, the league is in control of its own destiny. More precisely, the NBA controls the destiny of the WNBA. We look forward to learning how the NBA arrived at a $200 million valuation if initial reports are accurate or even close. Neither the NBA nor the WNBA can deny that in the last few years, we have seen unprecedented growth across all metrics. The players continue to demonstrate their commitment to building the brand, and the fans keep showing up. There's no excuse to undervalue the WNBA again. $75 billion?
That's what they value the WNBA at?
No, there was a deal combined, WNBA, NBA, because this deal was negotiated by the NBA because they still own that right, the media rights, because the WNBA was created by the NBA. Yeah. And a lot of the teams shared owners, the New York Liberty were owned by the Knicks. So $75 billion. And she says, how do they give the 200 million evaluation? Is she saying that's too low, or you gave us more?
Well, guessing that's too low given the growth that they've seen over the last few years, and obviously the rookie class coming in with Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese and Cameron Brink, and then you got more stars coming in. They're expecting exponential growth, I'm sure, in the near future.
Yes.
Yeah, so, I mean that's huge. I mean it's gonna grow, and look, like I said, the owners, want to invest more. So yes, when this Players Association deal is up and they have to renegotiate contracts, I don't think it's gonna be as tough as people think it is. I think it's gonna go pretty smoothly. Those owners want to pay these players. They want to show people that these are stars. They want to, they want to hoist them up there as such. So no, they're not going to be getting the $100 million deals that you get in the NBA, but they're going to get significant.
It's only 40
deals.
games.
Yeah, and they're going to get deals to keep them here. Not every player, but you're going to see a lot more players that can just commit to being a WNBA star.
Because the current max contract in the WNBA is $250,000, $252,000, right? Yeah. Back in the day, Sue Bird and Diana Taurasi were getting paid $1 million a year by their Russian club. It's actually a crazy story about it. They actually played for a KGB spy, by the way. So he was paying them $1 million a year. So could the $250,000 become 1.12? Because you got to adjust it. You got to adjust it because the men play 82 games, right? And so there's that. The women only play 40 in the, you know what I mean? So you got to adjust the contracts. They're not going to, A'ja Wilson isn't getting $60 million a year like Steph Curry or Jalen Brown or something. That's not happening. 40 games, compared to 82, that's not happening. So but she, half maybe.
To be fair, it's not about the number of games though.
Yeah.
Because NFL players play 17 games, and you got quarterbacks making $60 million a year. Yeah. It's about what you're generating.
Exactly.
And the WNBA. Their players association and their players can make a very strong argument that they're going to be generating a ton of money very, very soon.
Mm-hmm. So that's why the opt-out in 2025 is key, because they're definitely going to opt out and renegotiate. It's definitely happening.
Looking at the numbers this year and numbers next year is going to be huge, because, just from the TV deal alone, you're looking at like $15-16 million per team annually, right? That's including the expansion team. That's just off the TV deal. That doesn't include ticket sales, merchandise, all that stuff, and
that's another problem right there. The merchandise. People want to buy the merch. They can't find the merch. They're not making the merch fast enough like they do with the NBA, or you can't really get, people want to buy jerseys of players. If, it's basic business. And this is how it's plain old sexism, Because at the end of the day, you want to make money, right? And it's pretty easy how to make money. You sell the jerseys of the players in game, like in arena. You go and you buy the jerseys. Most teams don't do that. You can't find them on I don't understand. Like, we're in this business, right? To make money. And you know how to make money. And you see the demand of merchandise. People want to buy shirts and hats and sweats and jerseys. You know that. The NBA knows jersey culture. Every other year, every team has 2 to 3 new jerseys. They suck. Most of them suck. But it's new jerseys that people could buy.
Yeah.
And in the NBA, they can't even buy their home jerseys. They were telling people before the season, if you want a custom Angel Reese jersey, you buy a Chicago Sky custom jersey. You customize it with the 5 and the Reese, which is actually more money because you're, forking up money for customization. So they weren't already made, So like money's there to be had. It's just I don't know why you don't want it. At the end of the day, man, if I was running this league, I'm getting as much money as possible. But I feel like they don't want that because, Like, I don't understand. What are we doing here? We want to, people are clamoring for this stuff, and you just don't want to do it.
I think a part of it too is who these leagues partner with. I know like Fanatics does a lot of merch for the leagues, and they never have merch. Like they're terrible at keeping things in stock. They're terrible at producing the actual products. So I mean, it could be a little bit of that, but also, like you said, I think the league was probably just unprepared in general for what the demand was going to be.
Yeah, and they lie and say, "Oh, we saw this coming." If you did, everyone could buy a jersey or a shirt. But but here's the thing: you knew the CC was coming. Her jersey was already boom right there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You didn't know Angel was going to bring people. The reason people don't talk about how popular she is because she brings a demographic that they already have or they don't care for anyway. You know what I mean? So they say, "Oh, she's not that popular," but she is. She's big. Angel Reese is big. You know what I mean? The problem is she's big with people you already get money from or you don't care for because you want the white demographic that CC brings in because that's where you think the moolah is. People still talk about being white famous because white people in America have the more prominent cash flow in America because of years of being ahead in this country.
Yeah. All right. Look, we're going to move this along because we're already close to an hour. We're supposed to speed through this. Ferris. No. We're not transitioning to that yet, B. We're going to talk some NBA. Quick NBA talk. Ferris. Okay, this is about your beloved Knicks. All right.
Again,
I know this. You're gonna be. That's you're gonna feel passionate about this. We're gonna try to make this a little tight 5-minute discussion. Jalen Brunson gave up $113 million to stay with the Knicks. That's kind of the gist of it.
Yes.
How do you feel about that?
Good for him.
So when we say he gave $113 million, basically.
So here it is. Here it is. What it is? Yo, ready? Take the banner off. Okay, take it off.
Take it off.
Take it off.
No,
All right, take it off. Take it off.
NBA Jalen Brunson, clown or fool?
Okay, so here's the way the deal operates. So at that time, this was the max contract that they could offer. If he waited one more year, like till next year, it would increase to 213, 14 million, something like that.
Yeah.
But he took the deal now. He took the max deal they offered him right now. He took it. That's the max deal because of the way they operate with this. Now, you know what? I hope CJ McCollum and Grant Williams, never see basketball heaven, to be quite honest with you. Because, this offseason makes no sense because of the things they negotiated with what are we doing here? You know what I mean? Because teams can't keep the players that they drafted and developed anymore. A lot of teams like can't keep their people because they can't afford we had talking about aprons and I'm like, what are we in a kitchen? What is going on here? What do you mean what apron? I got a custom LBHT apron and we talking about what are we talking about aprons? What are we talking about? What did Grant Williams do? You know what? I look at Grant Williams, you'd be like, you know what? That guy looks stupid. You know what? He is. Wow. He is stupid. What are we doing here?
I just want to point out that Ferris turn this into a CJ McCollum and Grant Williams rant because he did not want to talk about how stupid his boy Jalen Brunson is.
No,
like,
he's
why
not.
didn't he wait? Okay, so
He could have waited the year if he wanted to.
It's 1 year. To
Yeah.
I mean, I get being passionate about winning and being the team guy, whatever. That's you can't give up that kind of money. Now,
Yeah.
people are floating out there like, oh well, he's getting that money in the back end. What does that mean? Like, how can you recoup $113 million on the back end?
There's no recouping that money.
Yeah, you can't, right? And then people talk about like, oh, how's it going to affect the other NBA players? It isn't because
they're not clowns or fools.
He's not a clown. He's a fool. He wanted this deal. He kept this deal because he's trying to keep the band together, right?
Okay.
Mikal Bridges sounded like he may do a team friendly deal as well. You know what? Here's the thing, man. We're talking about Leon Rose here too. No, you know what? And if if you think that, that's fine. But so if a player wants to take less money to keep the band back together, to keep the band, we crucify him. But he takes more money and ruins the band, we crucify him. So it doesn't matter.
Those
the
are
lesson
different
is
groups of people.
The lesson is take the money.
And one of those groups is very, very wrong. Okay?
Exactly. It's my rule is this. It's always been my rule. It ain't my money.
And I see people in the chat saying he's afraid of risking an injury. That would not stop him from getting paid. Not for a second.
And people talk about like, oh, his agent is the president's son and the president is godfather, so they're definitely going to take care of him. Maybe
How?
not. I don't know.
That's great. You got to explain to me how. Like
exactly, like how? Like I don't know. Like they say that, and I'm like, I don't know how they would do that. But
it can't be anything legal.
Probably not. But who cares? Who cares, man? It ain't my money. I don't
They went to the
damn.
offset. Don't worry. They pulled out a gym
Why am I
bag
talking
full of
with my hands? I don't
full
know.
of bricks, full of bricks of coke. Like, don't worry.
Why
we got
not?
you.
Here's a bunch of cash. Here's $100 million in straight cash. You know what I mean? That's Randy Moss's dream. Straight cash, homie. Why not? Duffel bags.
Jeremy,
just duffel bags.
This isn't a regardless thing. He says 153 million is still a good deal regardless. Not when you could make 113 million more. That's actually a horrible deal.
That's pretty
Okay.
Listen, man, Jeremy, you're living on whatever you make at your job right now. So I hope you don't take a raise when they offer it.
Yeah.
Right. It's a good deal regardless. All right.
He's not a clown. He's a fool. He's Jalen Brunson. He wanted to keep the band together.
I remember this guy at work. He was talking. He was talking about a baseball player. So when he said baseball, like it sounded like gibberish. But the point was this. He's like, there's this player. He was a star.
Yeah, so that's hilarious.
That's how I said. Y'all got fair so upset. He's using jazz hands. But his point was there was a baseball player, star playing for his hometown, and beloved there, and it came time for a deal. They offered him this deal. Okay, it was great. He's going to take it. Another team came and offered him a similar deal. He took that deal instead. It was $1 million difference, right? And everybody got upset. They're like, "Yo, why did you take that deal? It was only $1 million." And my friend was like, "Because it was $1 million more."
It's Freddie Freeman.
$1 million is $1 million. I don't care if it's 156 million versus 157 million. Well, I'll take an extra million, please. Yeah. And now we're talking about 113 million. Yeah, you need to run that up. Okay. In fact, here's what's going to happen this year. Since I'm afraid of getting hurt, if I jam my finger in a game, I'm sitting out. Okay. If I feel a little soreness in my hammy, I'm sitting out. All right. If I sneeze too hard and my stomach gets tight, I'm sitting out. That's what's happening until I get my money. And B is absolutely right. An injury is not going to stop you from getting paid. Look at Ben Simmons.
Literally. Look at Ben Simmons.
Look at every player in the NBA.
Look at Kevin Durant tore his Achilles and was still given a max contract.
Yes. Correct.
Tore his Achilles. And the Nets were like, here's the max deal. We don't care.
Thank you, Coach. He says 5 minutes is up. Thank you. Appreciate it. Okay. All right. We're done torturing Ferris. All right. What's next here? What do we want to transition to?
Like a little basketball note, shout out to Bill Russell, McClymonds legend, Bay Area legend, brought state titles to McClymonds and back-to-back national championships at the University of San Francisco. Shout out to him.
All right. What we got next, B?
I guess we're gonna go to a little NFL talk if
Okay.
that's what you all want to do.
Let's do it.
All right, let's do
Talking
it.
Hard Knocks.
All
Nobody's
right.
ever talking Hard Knocks, Ferris.
Sorry, I was asking.
Especially not with the Giants on there.
Okay. So training camp has started. Has it started for the Giants as well? Like rookie
Yeah, the
training camp?
rookies have come in, and some veterans. But yeah,
Okay.
mostly the rookies have started to come in. Yeah.
All right. So we're starting a little early. There's not much to talk about. The veterans that haven't come in for any camps yet. But I asked Coach what he wanted to see from the Ravens coming up this camp. Well, I want to see, as always, I want to see players not get hurt, no major injuries. But man, we need some major help on that O line. And what I want to hear from training camp is these guys look stellar, okay? Because they invested a lot in not investing into the O line and just the offensive position. So all these late picks, these next man up. Hey, Voorhees is they feel good about Voorhees. This is the time to show it. They have to show it through camp. I need to hear good things about throughout camp. I need to see something in preseason, and it needs to follow through in the regular season. But even with that, I'm still gonna be. But what I can't hear is that Voorhees still needs work, or Ben Cleveland, got beat a few times today. It wasn't a great day for him. I can't hear that. Right, like these guys need to step up because that's a major weakness that I think is getting overlooked. And they just better be right. It's time for EDC to get it right. He's drafted a lot of players. They haven't been looking great. This needs to be the time for those guys to start turning it around. Coach mentioned Ojabo. Ojabo needs to go in there and look good. All right. Bateman needs to look good. Like it's time for the next man up to step up. If you're not going to spend any money, then it's time for these guys to step up and do their job. Otherwise, it's going to be a long season.
Yeah. For Carolina, I think that really the training camp is not really where we're going to see what we need to see from the Panthers. It has to be in the preseason because, you're not going to learn much about your offensive line in training camp. Right? You're just not, the one-on-ones aren't going to teach you anything. You're not going, all out in practices and things like that. So they need to get, when they go to, visit with the Jets and they have those kind of scrimmages that they do, you'll learn a little something there, but they need to get into the preseason games and see if these guys can actually block while they're, playing offense for real. Yeah. Outside of that, I don't think there's any question about Deontay Johnson. We know what he can do, and again, you're not going to know what Xavier Legette can do in training camp, really. So they really need to get out on the field and play against another team. Going all out and just learn what these players are about. Bryce Young's going to look great in training camp. We know he can throw the ball. We know he's accurate. So you're not going to learn anything there. So I'm not real excited for training camp for Carolina just because I don't think it really holds any answers for them. They need to get on the field and play real games and see if these guys like you're saying with the Ravens, see if they step up to the plate.
Yeah, and yes, Jeremy, R.I.P. to Jacoby Jones who passed away. Very sad. Like they haven't said what happened. I don't believe, but they said that he died peacefully with family around him. So it leads me to believe maybe he was sick or something like that. But very sad. He was only 41 or something like that. 40, 41?
Yeah, 40.
Yeah, he's younger than me. Jeez. Rick Diaz says, hello, Baltimore Ravens fans. How are you guys doing this evening? So another seating for everyone there. I'm not a Baltimore Ravens fan. Coming from Chicago, my first time in your show. Can I listen? Of course you can listen, Rick.
Yeah. Show's for everybody.
It is. It is for
Don't
everyone.
look a day over 35, Jose.
Thank you. I appreciate that. You
This
sound
dude right here
you
is,
sound a day over 44.
Me?
This dude on the bottom of the screen is a Giants fan.
Yes. Okay, Ferris, what do you want to see coming out of the
You said
Giants
that like
game?
a epithet. You know what I mean? Like, oh, this man's a Giants fan.
You
You know?
heard it how you heard it first.
Okay, all right. Jesus Christ.
Hey, why are you taking
And hit the subscribe button,
name
Rick, while you're here.
of another religion's Lord in vain?
What do you mean?
You said Jesus Christ.
I didn't.
Yes, you did.
Like right now?
Yes.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did. What are you talking about?
Ferris,
man.
what do you want to see out of Giants camp?
All right, man. What I want to see.
You gotta tighten up the filter, man.
I don't think I did. I don't remember.
Court
What does it matter?
of public opinion. Did Ferris say Jesus Christ just now?
Vote in the chat.
Go ahead.
Vote in the chat. Hashtag. Yeah. What I'm looking for is pretty much this. All right. Why the hell we signed Drew Lock if you don't think he's gonna bring competition in, right? Because if that man is here to paying him to be a backup, why the hell you come to New York Giants to be a backup?
Who else was gonna sign Drew Lock?
Because he could have stayed with Seattle.
No, he couldn't. They brought in Sam Howell.
Oh yeah, they did. Shoot, that's crazy.
Wait,
All right,
Sam,
cool.
Sam Howell went to the Giants? So
No, to Seattle.
He went to Seattle. Okay, so
They traded him to Seattle.
who does
Oh, I didn't know
Washington
that.
have other than
Marcus Mariota.
Oh, Mariota.
Yeah, Mariota.
Okay. So is he projected to be starter or is he going to get beat out?
No, it's gonna be Jaden. They're not doing no competition. I mean, Marcus is just there to provide cover, I guess. Good for him.
I'm sorry. We got to
No,
talk.
you're
Go
good.
ahead.
I forgot that Sam Howell was traded to Seattle. Now it makes sense. That's okay. Yeah. Also, too, I know we're not going to talk about Hard Knocks, but we went after the people we want, right? Like, you got to stop moving these offensive linemen around, right? You know what I mean? Like, if you give them a position, because Jermaine Illuminor in a press conference during OTA says, "Oh, give me a position so I can focus on it during training camp.
Yeah.
Don't be moving me around. Give me something." And they said he's a right tackle or a left guard, and he's playing left guard. So he's like, "Don't move me from left guard." But a lot of people want him to be at right tackle because a lot of people have kind of given up on Evan Neal. I mean, but there's a lot of people saying but a lot of people are saying one more go around with a new offensive line coach. We'll see how it goes because they brought in the offensive line coach from Oakland who knows Jermaine Illuminor a lot because he's been literally working with him the past 2 years. So and the Raiders fans actually got mad that Carmen left because they actually liked him and his team is the offensive line was solid-ish in Vegas. I was gonna say Oakland, which throws me off. So we'll see that. So make the linemen play the position you give them and don't move them around unless you have to, because they need to know that position. Duke Manyweather says this all the time. Just because he played right guard doesn't mean he's going to be a good left guard. Not every offensive lineman is like that. Like not everyone's Zach Martin, who played left guard at Notre Dame with his brother Nick, who was a center. And then Dallas was like, you're gonna play you out right guard because Zach Martin is one of the greatest guards in NFL history. You know what I mean? We're not talking about some random offensive lineman here. You know what I mean? Like that's the thing. Even with Quentin Nelson, he played left guard. Indianapolis kept him at left guard. They didn't move him around because in a sense, because Zach Martin's better than him, of course. You know what I mean? That's it. It's like same thing with it's not Larry Allen. Even Larry Allen played only left guard until that one year he played right tackle his first year and left tackle that other year, but he played left guard his entire career. Don't be moving these people around. Don't. Give them a position, let them learn it, and walk away. Sorry.
What'd you hit?
And walk away. All right? Sorry. Like you're learning. It's mental reps with the zone, with either zone or power. You're left guard. You're everything has to be. You got to power everything left side. What I mean? You can't just keep hopping around. What I mean? Because like how do I operate on the right with my right tackle if I've been playing left guard the entire time with my left tackle Andrew Thomas? He likes one thing. Evan Neal likes another. Oh, on the right side, the center operates with me a little different. If I was on the left, like Give him a position and don't change it at all. You know what I mean? And, Malik Neighbors, of course, receiver one. We'll see how he ingratiates himself with the other two young receivers we have in Wandell and Jalen Hyatt. So that's probably going to be the future trio because, Darius Slayton is not looking like he's not long for this world in a New York Giants uniform.
Not long for this world, bro.
That's in a Giants uniform.
Okay.
Like the football terms. I'm not saying.
All right, man.
Fun fact: Jermaine Illuminor started out with the Ravens.
Fun fact: Jalen Hyatt sucks. So,
this is a very important question from OTR Mike.
You know what? You suck.
Do we
right?
trust Danny or not, Ferris?
No, I don't trust him. I'm done. It's over. He got drafted. It made no sense because everyone said it made no sense. Literally everyone. All right, literally everyone. I was like, you know what? Let's see. I'm not gonna destroy the kid. I'm not gonna destroy him. Let's see what he got. All right. I remember the first game against Tampa Bay. I remember that first game. He comes in and he wins us the game. He wasn't scared. He was slinging it all over the field. He just didn't care. And then he didn't improve. And then Joe Judge and Jason Garrett destroyed his development. We can say a lot about Pat Shurmur, how he's a bad head coach. He is. Bad head coach.
Yep.
But he knows one thing and one thing only. He's a great offensive coordinator. He's very solid with quarterbacks. A lot of people are not very good head coaches. But you put them in the OC spot or the DC spot, they are tremendous developers and tremendous coaches in that respect. Like Wade Phillips as a head coach, a lot to be left desired. Wade Phillips, defensive coordinator, that's a whole different beast. You know what I mean? Like not everyone can transition to head coach. Like people thought Gary Kubiak, offensive coordinator, head coach, and then he got fired in Houston, went back to offensive coordinator, then was hired in Denver, won a Super Bowl, and it showed you he could evolve in a sense. But not a lot of coordinators are good head coaches. Shurmur was developing him solidly, and then we destroyed him with Joe Judge and Jason Garrett. He never recovered. It's over. It's time is over. We shouldn't have re-signed him. We should have moved on. We should have Tyrod Taylored him what Buffalo did. He took them to the playoffs, Tyrod Taylor. He played solid that year. And Buffalo told him, thank you, buddy. Have a nice day. And he goes to San Diego. Guess who was the assistant GM in Buffalo when they did that? Joe Shane. So he saw Brandon Beane tell his quarterback who just led him to the playoffs in the first time in 20 years, have a nice day.
All right.
Shoo. Bye. And then let's go get our guy and Josh Allen. It didn't happen. It didn't happen. Either Joe Shane isn't the guy I thought he was coming out of that aggressive front office that Buffalo is always, or John Mara said, you got to resign him. It's one or the other. We'll see.
It's both.
Probably.
It's both.
All right, so went on a little longer than thought there. We're gonna.
I deeply apologize.
Not you. I just mean the segment in general. We're gonna jump over to the other topic here. Probably our last topic for the night. We'll talk about it and get out of here and get over to the overtime show. But some of you, what?
So we're supposed to record public opinion. We'll save it for overtime show.
Yeah. Some of you may have seen that your favorite hot taker, the guy who invented the genre, Skip Bayless, is out at FS1 this coming summer. He's going to be walking away from Undisputed. I don't want to watch
Undisputed.
Yep, Undisputed.
And no talk as to where he's going to go, why he's out. There's just a mutual parting of ways for probably the biggest or one of the biggest names in I don't want to say sports journalism. Sports talking heads. I don't know.
Yeah, this sports debate culture. He kind of invented that, right? He kind of ushered that in. Now, when I first heard it, I thought, okay, he's retiring because he's getting up there in age, and the show now when you see the clips of him talking with Richard Sherman and Michael Irvin and Keyshawn, right? He just looks tired. He looks like he's just drained, and I'm like, okay, he's retiring, and he's had a long run, and that's it. But he's not retiring. They just said he's not going to be on FS1, and they didn't say that he quit. They didn't say he's not going to be a part of the show anymore. So that means they told him it's your time. It's time to get up out of here. We're not saying you gotta leave, but we're just not going to pay you anymore. Okay. So that is very interesting because Skip, and I should have known, as stubborn as he is, he's never going to quit. So he's trying to do something else, but we haven't heard any deal announced of him going anywhere else. So where do you guys think he'll end up? That's the question.
Well, I told you what I think, and it may be a long shot, but I think he ends up back at First Take with Stephen A. Smith because Stephen A. Smith does not like anyone who people like more than him. He doesn't like people who are more popular than him, and I think he'd be fine moving Shannon Sharp out of his spotlight and bringing Skip back in to make him look like not the hero, but the lesser villain.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Coach. Mutual parting of ways, quote unquote.
ESPN has already come out and commented on it. Say, nah, we good.
They said that?
Yeah. Said, nah, we good. But, yeah,
Coach says Barstool. Oh,
I know if he has no self-respect, absolutely. But I feel like, we talk about his sports takes all the time. They're outrageous, they're outlandish, they're crazy. Him hating on LeBron for years, that's just the wildest thing in the world. But I don't think,
he's a racist and sexist.
Yeah. I don't think he's that. You know what I mean? So Skip, Skip, because it's what he portrayed. Well, for 12 years on ESPN, a lot of people were like, it was kind of like the Max Kellerman situation where like Max was always on the right side. Skip was always on the right side, for years, even in the street for years. It would always, in the media, in the public, it always seemed that way. If he does all that stuff, he may be sexist. That's true. He may be sexist. That's right. There's been a lot of stories about how he kind of was a little demeaning and undermining and had no kind of respect for the female moderator. That is true. I have no respect for people who work for that program. I think the people who work for that program and that company are the problem, not the guy who runs it, because the guy who runs it is a problem, but the enablers are worse. You know what I mean? And if Skip does that, all that grace he created over the past 20 years, that may not know about the slight sexism he got, just dies. You know what I mean? Just dies. Because there are clips of him talking about race with Stephen A, where a lot of people were like, he's right, Stephen A's wrong, like the Max Kellerman situations.
Yeah. Well, yeah. No, yeah. I mean, people improperly label him a racist before. This is because, like, how he attacks black athletes a lot, right? But yes, when we're talking, whenever there's a social issue on hand, he jumps on the right side immediately, right? That's probably the most genuine Skip Bayless that you're going to see is when something serious like that happens.
Yeah, absolutely. He drops the character, and probably the best example of that is he's been almost by himself out there on this island since 2002, and saying that the Hurricanes won that national championship game.
Damn right we did. You're damn right we did. That was not pass interference. Sorry.
Don't say we, Oregon fan.
Hey! You watch your mouth. Right?
Wow, you're taking that as that too. You are.
No, it's just the U's my first love.
But no. I think what we're seeing is kind of the end of that era that he kind of helped usher in. The
Godfather, basically.
That debate style isn't as popular anymore. Even on First Take, yes, First Take is I think they're the number one show. They get they're getting ratings, but I think even with them, the end is near with that style, right? They're getting that popularity because Shannon is very popular, and
yeah, man, he's massive.
He's huge, and in fact, like First Take isn't even his biggest thing, right? He has 2 podcasts that he does. His Club Shay Shay, which is huge, and Nightcap. Both of those have over 1 million subscribers, I believe. Right? His interviews on Club Shay Shay get more views than anything that you will see on First Take.
And he's
come on, Jose. Interviewer. I know them. Come on, I gotta see them. Come on, Jose. Come
You
on.
know, he's a terrible interviewer too. That's
He's,
that's the
he's
worst
pretty
thing.
bad. He's just pretty.
but I think we discussed this before.
He just sits there and just be like this.
But no, but what we're seeing, and this is what we discussed on the overtime show before, is sports media is becoming more of, you're seeing athletes, right, have their
Tell
own
the story. Yeah.
podcasts, and they're talking with other players, and these are more genuine, more candid conversations, things that the Stephen A, Skip Bayless, I mean Skip Bayless, nobody likes him, but like nobody can get these type of conversations with athletes the way former athletes do it. And it's just it's it's more interesting because they're going to open up more, they're going to say more. And like what Shannon Sharp is showing you, even when he gets celebrities on there, and he's had to be good at interviewing, but they're going to open up to him because they know he understands them on a certain level.
Mm-hmm.
So they go on there and they're very candid, and it's just a better conversation than even what Stephen A can do. Right? I know Stephen A is riding high right now. He's about to get another huge deal, and he thinks he's God's gift to sports media. He's not. And I can see I can see this relationship with him and Shannon not lasting long because of that, because
He's gonna get
he's
jealous.
he'll get jealous, right? And he won't appreciate the fact that people say the only reason you're still on top is because of Shannon. And that's exactly what happened with Skip, right? Skip didn't like the fact that he was shining too much, and bad Skip got the best of him and forced Shannon out, and now he's out too. So
Yeah,
yeah,
and you find out on these podcasts how dumb some of these athletes are. It's pretty fun.
Yeah,
So it was like,
I
oh,
think that's
you stupid. Like, okay, that's
yeah.
crazy.
I think it's a fascinating thing right now because you haven't had it before ever in terms of athletes being able to tell their own story, and I think it's going to burn out fairly quickly because there aren't that many who are actually good at it, and then the guys who are actually good at it are going to just essentially turn themselves into, not like Skip and Stephen A in terms of their personality, but they're going to turn themselves into, media professionals, and it's going to lose
Mhm.
authenticity that it has right now. Because it was the same thing with the embrace debate era, right? At the beginning, you kind of felt like, hey, these guys are just they're arguing their real opinions, and then very quickly, once networks saw how popular that was, it turned into, well, okay, you're not going to argue what you actually believe. You're going to take opposing views on this, and then we're going to say the most outrageous thing we can say so we can go viral every, at least once a week.
but see, I
Mhm.
don't think it's going to burn out as quickly as you think, because like, okay, I'm seeing these clips now of Gilbert Arenas arguing with what's his name, Brandon.
So there's a couple people. Let me bring.
But hold on, don't go off, don't get off track yet.
I'll
Hold
just
that
tell
thought.
you who the people are. It's Brandon Jennings.
Brandon Jennings,
Um,
yeah,
and then there's he also argues with Rashard McCants a lot. It's one of them. It's one of
yeah.
them. Shout out
So
to Rashard McCants.
I think, and
No,
that's more that debate style we're talking about that you see with with the Stephen A's and whatnot, except you're seeing it with athletes. So like, yes, you have candid conversations, but then you also have the debate part of it as well, and then you're seeing them have heated, or it looks like it's a heated conversation or argument, and you get that part of it too. Like, there's different aspects to what they're doing that they can do that'll stretch it out.
Mhm.
So you can have a sit down with the pivot and just have a open conversation about your playing days, or this coach or whatnot. You can have I seen a podcast where um Rasheed Wallace, he was talking about,
Probably all the smoke.
that wasn't all the smoke, it was
Wasn't all the
something
smoke.
else. He was talking about I can't remember which coach it was. Larry Brown. It had to be Larry Brown. But man, like, he had a lot to say about that. Like, and you've never, I mean, Rasheed Wallace says a lot, but you've never heard him, talk about,
All teams
that
play
time.
hard, man.
And then yes, you can have Gilbert Arenas just arguing with other players about Bronny James. Like, there's like you're getting to see that side, right? Them just being candid and being themselves, that you don't get to normally see, because you had traditional media wanting to be the gatekeepers because they're the only ones that got to be close to these athletes, and that's why you were kind of getting close to that person, to that media person, because this person. That's what Stephen A. Smith kind of struggles with now, even though he's still popular. He used to be that gatekeeper. Nobody knew Kobe like he knew him. Nobody knew this player like he knew
Allen.
him, right? And now that's not the case. We know that player just as well as you do because he has his own podcast, and we see him on his other podcast all the time. He's talking to this person. We don't need Stephen A. Smith, right?
No, for sure. I'm just saying that there are people who are good at it. The Pivot's good at it. Cam's good at it. I mean, even all the smoke to it.
Cam is amazing, bro.
I don't really like all the smoke, but there are athletes that are good at it. But what I'm saying is there are a ton more who are really bad at it, and they're flooding the market, and that's going to burn out interest on it faster than it otherwise would. I mean, the people who are good at it are going to be around because they're good.
Yeah. Sure.
But I think you're seeing a big swell in support for it because it's new. You haven't had it before, and everybody's interested. And I'm saying that part of it's going to go away, just like it did with debate. Because at first it was just, it was just Skip and Stephen A. and Wilbon and Kornheiser, right? And then the Around the Horn guys, and then it was everyone. And then you were like, stop it! I don't want to hear this anymore. The people who are good at it still do it, but nobody wants to see any of the rest of it is what I'm saying.
Do people look at Partner Interruption as a debate show? I never saw it as a debate show because
they debate. They were actually the first. They were the show that helped create First Take. Well, it was actually called First and 10. Technically, it was called First and 10.
It's called Cold Pizza.
Cold Pizza.
Well, Cold Pizza. That's true. Yeah, good point.
But
worst name in the history of names of shows.
They debate. They debate on the show, but like. Not
they
every
talk.
segment is done debate. Yeah, they're just giving their opinion. Sometimes,
right? But that's what I'm saying. That's how it started. It started more authentically, and then it turned into, well, you have to be on opposing sides for every single topic, and you're going to scream at each other, and you're going to say outlandish things, and we're going to all go viral, and everybody's doing, everybody does that, and it doesn't work for anybody anymore.
Well, no, not PTI. PTI doesn't really do that, man.
I'm not talking about PTI. I'm talking about the genre.
Yes.
They were very authentic.
Yeah, they started lying.
Very authentic, Skip and Stephen A. even to an extent. I mean, they always had their characters, but they were more down to earth. They're more real at the beginning, and then it spirals out of control because it got popular.
Yeah. Did you know Darius Butler and Antoine Bethea have a podcast?
Nope.
See? Did you know?
Everybody does.
Did you know? Did you know?
Do they know that we have a podcast?
That's the question.
And do they know that we are out of time?
Shout out to Man to Man.
Yes, because we're getting close to an hour and a half. Do we have submitted questions, B?
No.
No submitted questions.
Well, actually, no, we had one. I did not put it on here. I'm sorry. Hold on. Because I did not have time to actually put it in. We had one submitted question from Derek. He says, Bank of America Stadium was host to multiple Copa semifinal games this past week. Tepper is the owner of 2 football clubs, both play in Bank of America Stadium. How will Tepper react to seeing a true sellout for the first time as an owner? I mean...
Yeah, he must have been not happy because after the game... a brawl ended up happening at your stadium.
I'll say this, Derek. I don't think he's going to react by saying... Man, I better start doing a good job in Carolina so I can see this every weekend. I don't think that's what's going to happen. I think
he does.
Maybe he says, "How can I host more events that sell tickets because these Panthers don't?"
Or maybe he says, "How do I get a football team?"
He does own a football team.
He has one. I was saying he's not gonna start running his teams well.
Yeah, he owns Charlotte FC.
Well, you can only hope.
Yeah.
All right, that is it. We are done. We are going to the overtime show. We're going to discuss some more things. We had a court of public opinion. It was the people versus Jalen Brown. Okay, we'll discuss that. We're going to discuss Nate Diaz not getting paid for his fight. Not only did he not get paid, they gave him a check, and then at the end of the fight, they asked him to give it back.
and like the Jalen Brunson he is, he did.
He gave it back. He said, "Here you go, bro." And they're like, "Thanks. You're not getting any of your money."
Would you be happy if what's your favorite player, Brodny?
My favorite, you said? My favorite what?
Basketball player, LeBron James, right?
LeBron, Luka. Yeah.
What if Luka took a team-friendly deal to keep all the people in Dallas?
No.
Would you be like, he's an idiot?
Yes, I'd call him a moron.
That's a good point.
I'd be happy he's staying, but not like that.
That's a good point. What if Bryce says, "Give me a team-friendly deal so we can build this roster"?
Because you know why? You know why, Ferris? Because he took that team-friendly deal because of New York's incompetence. If they had taken those 6 first-round picks, and I know this couldn't happen, but I'm just saying as a hypothetical. If they had taken those
Why are
6
you
first-round
talking
picks,
about it then? If it isn't going to happen,
Hey, shout
you're
out
just
to E.
creating new
it's not
situations.
going to happen because y'all are clowns. You don't know what you're doing. If they take those
I'm a
6
clown.
first-round
The Lakers
picks-
will run like a damn little fun house.
Hey,
I'm sorry. When
shout
was the
out,
last time the Knicks have won anything?
shout
Who
out
gives
to-
a damn? It's talking
hey,
about the way the organization.
Shout out to
It doesn't
E.
matter.
Says just dropping before y'all check out Zay B Fair. What's up, fellas? What's up with you, E? Thanks
What's
for
up,
coming
E?
through, man.
But if they had taken those 6 first-round picks, they traded for Mikal Bridges, and they had traded for Anthony Edwards, he wouldn't have taken $100 million less because he would know, hey, we're actually a contender. He took the less money so that they could potentially build something in the future over the next few years because they haven't yet.
This is Grant Williams' fault, okay? And CJ McCollum with the aprons.
We're gonna end right here. We're gonna continue this
By
conversation.
the way, pay the bills. That was
Show.
crazy.
Patreon.com/LBHTShow is where you can find the overtime show. If you have as little as $5 in your pocket, if you have as little as $5 in your pocket,
sorry,
you can sign up. It is well worth the money. All right. Once again, patreon.com/LBHTShow. We're going to continue this conversation and more. B, are you ready?
Ready.
Ferris, let the people know where they can find you.
Find me on Let's Get Ready Network. The highlights every Friday, 3:00 Pacific. Me and Caleb talk American football. We're taking the week off this week. Next week, we're going to start talking about training camp. You're disgusting.
He said American football on our show.
All right. I have a worldwide audience, sir, unlike you. Worldwide.
We have a worldwide audience. I don't know what you're talking about. Check out
worldwide Ferris.
Go ahead, Ferris. Finish up.
And at Ferris not on Twitter, _Ferris_Mathana on Instagram. I got to start using Instagram a little bit more. How do y'all use Instagram? Can someone teach me? I don't know.
We'll discuss it on the overtime show.
Okay.
All right. Patreon members, get ready. The overtime show is starting in a couple minutes. Everybody else, thank you so much. Have a great night, and we will see you next time. Peace.